forward that will help those millions and millions of people, 12 million unemployed, millions of people who can't put food on their table, millions of small businesses who are worried about going out of business permanently. Those are all efforts that we have to respond to and respond to quickly, and we should have done it a long time ago. But very frankly, we passed 4 bills relatively quickly at the beginning of this crisis. When the pandemic was raging then and subsided and is now raging again. We passed 4 major pieces of legislation in a bipartisan fashion. One, the CARES Act, which was the largest, over $2 trillion, was passed in the House on a voice vote. Unfortunately, since then, we passed a HEROES bill on May 15th, when on October 1st, a slimmed down version of that, which responded to all the crises that you've talked about, I've talked about, and we know is so prevalent in our country that we need to respond to, and we haven't acted. It is long past the time we need to act. Hopefully, we will get to an agreement today, put it on the floor, pass it, and give some relief in this crisis that our families, our businesses, our individuals are facing. So let's hope we can get there.
We just got the news across the wires that 885,000 more Americans filed for unemployment last week. That's higher than expected. Those numbers are going in the wrong direction now again. And you said it, this is long overdue. We could have had this exact conversation 6-7 months ago. The need was there. So in your analysis, what took so long?
Well, we passed a bill, as I said, on May 15th, HEROES 1, we called it, which was a $3.4 trillion bill, which Chairman Powell of the Federal Reserve said was an appropriate amount. And
all right, good morning, guys. So today we're looking at 3 main stocks, but we also added 3 other stocks just to see, where they're at, what they can do.
Didn't take it up. We urged them to take it up.
So they're looking at NVAX.
When we left on July 26th
first, by the way, so the jobless claims report came out, so it's higher than they expected. So that could be an indication that this might drop a little bit today out of the market. So we got to be very careful. We got to see what.
We wanted to give state and local governments assistance because many of them
what happens. So I'm looking at NVAX. So NVAX and Moderna are the next in line to have their vaccine out there in the public. I like NVAX, although Moderna is next in line, but I like NVAX. NVAX has a lot of room to grow, so I do believe that right now NVAX is at 26, right? So it can drop. It may drop a little bit, but it can definitely go up to 29.93. So almost about a $2 and change run from that point up. But with the pre-market, so as you can see here, it has room to grow, right? So what we do is we go ahead and we take a look at the 180 chart. Okay, you can see where it's at, where it came from here. Okay, at 153 is nothing compared to where they were at over here, 190, 198. So there is room to grow. It did drop here, right? Came back down, found support at resistance, old resistance right here. This was old resistance. We see it broke that many times. So I'm thinking we're going to expect at least this to get back to at least 129, being the next level of resistance. Then at 132, then 151.
And it's certainly a contrast.
This might be a couple days hold, even though it's a biotech stock, and biotech are other stocks that I wouldn't really normally hold overnight for a couple days. But it is next in line. Moderna's in line. This is also with it. So if we take a look at Moderna, or I'm sorry, NVAX. We'll go back to NVAX real quick because I'm not done with NVAX. So NVAX got news that they're going to they agreed with the New Zealand government for 10.7 million vials of the vaccine. So that's one of the reasons why it's jumped up, and it can continue to go because they're going to also do it here, right? And then we take a look at the 5-day.
Hi there, I'm Stephanie Rule.
Still has room to go. Okay? So it still has room to go, being that 129 would be the next level of resistance. As you can see that I had a hard time breaking it here before eventually breaking it here. Right? 129.93. And it's still in reach, to be honest, if you look at the chart. So it's right here, getting into the overbought area, and very reachable for that, okay, for today. That definitely can do that today. Take a look at the 10-day chart. Also dropped right there, as you can see. Okay, so definitely in play. So if we were to do the same thing with the deviation line, say we were going to do the 10-day, right? So that mark that we want to get to, 129, is a lot closer, right, than we think. It's right there, look. Okay, take a look at the 5-day. Right, it drops down even more because it's already at oversold in the 5-day. Right, so we have room to go because it's right here before, right at the average. Right, so there is a lot of room to grow for NVAX. Now we take a look at Moderna. Moderna is another stock that I'm looking at today, and then we'll talk into the talk about the one I'm really looking at because it still has a lot of room to grow. So we'll talk about Moderna real quick. With recent news on that today the FDA will make the decision of if they're gonna fast track this vaccine like Pfizer.
The United States as a whole, a trio of grim milestones, record numbers of daily cases, hospitalizations, and deaths, all in the same day. If you thought the spring was the worst, it was not. 3,293 Americans lost their lives yesterday.
Okay, so Moderna, if we look at the 10-day chart, as you can see here, it looks like it's primed to jump in, even though it right now, Moderna is flying high. Well, not that high. It's that decent. It's at a decent place, to be honest with you. So we look at the we look at the 10-day. This is 10-day. It's this 10-day chart. We can see that it looks like it's on discount, right? Being at the low is 133, and that if we were to find that level elsewhere, and I'll show you, but we'll look at the 5-day, also looks like it's on discount. So this could be a couple days hold because they're next in line, and I would really, you know, they say that the FDA is going to approve it. That's what they say, and if they approve that, this definitely can reach a level that I'm looking to get to. So we take a look at the 180. Okay, we take a look at the 180, where this is at right now.
Essentially approve this on the spot. They've signaled, you know, that they will.
Okay.
That this will be a quick authorization process. They've already reviewed the efficacy.
So we see here that 135 was the level of support that I had wrote down there, being I had bounced off this a few times, and then goes back up before it climbing in this area here, where it started climbing right before the news that the COVID vaccine was coming out, but they're working on it and progressing, and then it just kept flying from there. So it is a little high for me, but it does seem to have cooled off quite a bit, and with the new news of this getting an emergency rollout,
record number of deaths right now.
it already went up pre-market. So if we were to look at our next level of where I'm thinking it could go to, we go back to the 10-day, right? So currently where it's at right now, 141 would be the next level of where it could go, being that is the level of resistance that it could not pass right here yesterday before the bell, at the bell, and then again right here, right at
expect to see nurses handling 3 or 4 patients rather than the 2 or 3
excuse me.
We're already starting to see pockets of nurses.
And then right here after market, after hours, they try to attempt it again. So 141 being the level that we definitely can get today if the news rolls out right. So
we're probably nowhere near the bottom of what these numbers
141. Okay, so 141. Where is 141 on the chart? So 141 is definitely in play. As you can see, it's right there, right?
And they are in crisis. Steve, thank you. I want to turn now to our colleague Megan Fitzgerald. She's in Phoenix, Arizona, where drive-through vaccinations, not testing, drive-through vaccinations.
So 141 is definitely in reach. Seeing that we're at here right now, so we have at 137.84 right now. So you know what we're gonna do is with Moderna, knowing that it moves, it can move over $3, especially since it's been going up. And we can take an example of that, going to what I'm going to explain. So we take a look at these mini pops in the first 30 minutes, right? Let's just take a look at that, being that this is a stock that we might trade today. So as we can see on a pop, right? So being that it's already close to oversold, we go ahead and see that this is a strong level of support, 136.58. So our line comes into play right here. So let's say you get into midway, 136.78, right? And say you want to go here, you sell it here because it gives you an indication that the third time, right? You know, it's like, okay, it might not break it. It's a bull trap. Like it's popping up, it's popping up, it's popping up, and then most likely it will go down. In this case, it didn't. It's a minute pullback, boom, and it goes back up. But let's just say here's where you wanted to sell it. Say you get in halfway. So let's just say 137, for example, right there, 137, and you sell it here at 140, or maybe a little further down, right here at 140.03.
Local health agencies to identify the right healthcare workers and first responders.
So we know that pop right there is a $2 pop. Okay, but now let's just look when it sells off, right? Here's another pop with our line telling us to come in. So what's the average on this? So say we get in at this candle right here at 135.75, and we were to sell it here at that yellow average, right? 137.31. So halfway here, 135.81, right? Or 135, let's just say 135.73. Sell it right there, 137.23, $2. So it's $1 less than the previous run. So what we're going to do is we want to get this, so we want to do $1.50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send a template for $1.50, which I already have, meaning that's my trigger. So as soon as I get in, I'm going to expect for this to jump $1.50. You know, I used to be conservative with this so we can take these base hits, and it might fly way out past that if the news maintains and it holds. So again, if we take a look, we zoom out on the 10-day, 30-minute chart, it is down here. So it's primed to go. We're ready to go. And it's also on the deviation lines over at support or oversold.
Is this basically a formality?
To look at the 5-minute, also over on discount with that 131, that 141 definitely in reach, being a $3 run from where it's at right now. And then the next level of resistance would be the 148. So this, if everything goes right with the news and nothing dumb happens to it, this can definitely reach the 148 mark. I say, oof, because I've seen this thing run massively, you know, because, you know, 156, 147, $10 right here, man.
I expect an A, and I think the FDA will issue the emergency use authorization.
Details are very important, and some of the
so if we take a look at Moderna where it's at right now,
this vaccine is they're concerned
where it's at right now, I don't mind it.
Now there's been a discovery. Some doctors
I want it to go down just a little bit more.
They thought would have 5 doses, maybe have 6.
For me, I would like it to come down to at least this level right here, 137, even 137.14 around there. So let's take a look at one of our favorite stocks, NEO. So we see NEO's come down. Now it's trading at the level of resistance. Being 45.07 is a level of resistance. It's a level that it could not pass. Finally passed it at 1 in the morning, came back down to it, then came back up close to the 45.62 mark, which is what I predict that it could go to, and this is the reason why.
Pfizer vaccine has been hospitalized.
And it's going to get to that today for sure.
It's obviously something that has been known.
So this being the, hold on.
That piece you just had.
The 5-day, we can see that it's up there, right? It already hit the 45 bucks, but it didn't reach this part here, 45.67. So it could definitely reach that. But if we take a look at the 10-day, it could definitely go to the 48, right? And being that 47 is the next level, is it? Yes. 47.24 being the next level of resistance that it's definitely in range to get up to. So we look at the 180.
Doctor, you're not my doctor. Just from talking to you, I wish you were. Help us understand.
So if we take a look at this, right?
It's going healthcare workers.
So 47.24 is definitely the next level of resistance, then 48.34, and then we keep going higher and higher to 52 being the next level. Right here, 54 being the next level, and then 58 being where it topped out and definitely can reach. So we do have some exciting news about this. Neo Day is around the corner and has definitely potential to get to those places what I just showed. So if we also take a look real quick at the short squeeze.
On to citizens out there who need it the most.
So we want to take a look at the interest of shorting these stocks that we're looking at. So we're going to type in NEO. So right now, NEO, there's a 5% increase in shorting this stock.
They're close to the patients most of the time. And we're also interested, obviously,
in the increase of days to cover. So now we'll talk about, now we'll look at mRNA. Seeing that it already dropped quite a bit, what are we doing here? So we have a increase of 12% to short this stock. Wow.
So we're going to be reaching out into the community.
Let's look at NVAX.
Day after day to make sure that everybody has the information and the
3% increase, 2.1. Let's take a look at JMaya.
And their families.
Minus 7%.
Every time you are here,
right.
I feel reassured. You make us better and smarter every time we see you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
You're very kind.
18 minutes to the bell rings.
We've got breaking news. There could be delivery issues this morning. FedEx and UPS facing a new challenge in delivering the coronavirus vaccine. One of the biggest snowstorms, of course, it's the reason you got me at home today, is hitting the Northeast, the biggest we've seen in years. This one is a nasty girl with up to 2 feet of snow in some areas. Add to that, shipping companies are smack dab in the middle of holiday deliveries. We're actually not going to commercial. We're going to go right to that. We've got our team spread out across the region. First, Yasmin Vasugian at a UPS facility here in Queens, New York. Yasmin.
So I like JMaya where it's at right now on the deviation lines. You can see here it's very close here. So what does it normally do when it gets to that area? So when it's around here, it pops up. So if we take a look at the 5-day.
Super Bowl, right? This season, the Christmas season, the holiday season is really their Super Bowl. But on top of that, you
can see here it dropped right at the open and then popped up. Dropped right at the open and popped up. Dropped. So this one dropped right at the open, kept going down, and then came back up over here. So we see we have a tendency of bouncing back from here. So I'm gonna say, just to give this some level, I want to say here being the level of resistance that it finally broke, being the level of support that it bounced off before going back up. And I want to say that at the current price it's at right now, 40.18 is the level it can definitely reach now. But I'm thinking 40.91 would be the very next level of that it can reach. So I want to take this for a 55 cents run.
They've been on trains, they've been on planes, they've been on trucks, and there's a tracking system, not only that Pfizer is tracking, but also that the UPS
no recent news on it.
Tracking their temperature to make sure they stay at -70 degrees Celsius and their movement the entire time. From there, they come to one of these facilities. I'm actually here in Queens in front of this UPS facility. They are sorted at this facility, and then they're put on trucks once again and going to where their destination is. Today, there are major distributions happening at CVS's.
So what I'm going to do is,
Medical Center, which is just north of where I am, they're at 132% ICU capacity staff. Think about that. There are zero.
I can't tell you where to get in and where to get out. I can suggest what I would do. That's it. I'm not a professional. I'm just a day trader with some experience.
To see how this thing progresses throughout the day, making sure they get their deliveries on time.
In the stock world, I am a newborn baby, being that I've only been doing this for a year. But I stuck at it. It was a little cold.
And Kathy, let me tell you, for anyone who doesn't have the volume turned up at home, it looks like you're in Alaska. You're not. You're in Boston, where you are being brutally hit with this storm. Tell us about it.
Hey, Steph. Yeah, I'm not in Alaska. I'm definitely in Boston right now. And
so I mean, I can suggest what I would do. I can't tell you what to do with it, you know. And if you are following me and trading and do what I do, I'm not. You know, you shouldn't be blindly following anybody to begin with. I just, you know, I have an idea more or less of what these stocks can do, and then, you know, going back and looking at what it's done, and I have kind of an idea where to go and where it could go. So the hardest thing for a day trader to do is to
over the next couple of hours, and right now is in the
get rid of that fear factor, the FOMO, you know, because you know your money's on the line, and even if you did have the capital and you say you could burn a lot of money, it doesn't matter because money's still on the line. So you know, as soon as you get into a trade, or you're thinking you're going to get into it, you think it's all good, and everything. Sometimes everything that you're wanting to do or thinking that's right to do, you don't do, and then it ends up going wrong. Sometimes you get lucky, but the ones that you get lucky, so you get lucky quite often, by doing some mistakes or you know, not following your rules, then you tend to keep doing it. So it doesn't really help, you know. So if you follow your rules, then you really get to go.
Bill, what's in store here in New York City? Things don't look good.
It is, you know, not every day is going to be a green day. We can try and make the best of it to make it a green day. But you know, the fear of missing out.
What's happened near the Binghamton, New York area.
It's hard. So I like DraftKings where it's at right now. I do believe DraftKings has ways to go. Now DraftKings is overextended, I believe. It's already, but it does have room to go, which is the great thing. It came from 64.75. It's dropped dramatically from there, and it's been having amazing runs since. Right? With nothing but good news. If you look at the 5-day chart, this thing looks way overextended. But I do like where it's at right now. So we take a look at the 5-minute chart. We can see that it's overextended. So if we were to try and gauge this right now, you can see that right now it is at support, but recent support being at 53.74. So, being that it's at 53.84, 74, or whatever, okay, the next level will be 54.46. What it's already passed, as we see here, with the 54.80 after hours or pre-market at what time is this? At 1 in the morning before coming back down. So it's already lost a ton of momentum. Coming back down here. Okay. So 54.46.
Well, I hope your brother went to the grocery store yesterday. You're not getting that car out.
I needed to jump a little more than that. So I would say I need this to go here, 54.75. But anyway, so as we can see on the 5-day 5, it's up there. We see the 10-day. It's still way up there with a lot of room to come down. And if we take a look at the 180, that tells us that there's a lot of room to go up. So swing trading this is something that would be more prime to do. Seeing that, but it also does go up quite a bit. So if we see what it did yesterday, let's take a look at what it did yesterday real quick. Let's take a look at the 1 minute.
Portfolio events all at one place. Because when it's decision time, you need Decision Tech.
Let's take a look at the 5 minute at
Only
least.
from Fidelity.
Attention veterans with VA loans. Record low mortgage rates.
So what it's been doing, it's been going up pre-market and then dropping. So it opens up pre-market high, it does lose some momentum, but then it drops. So 51.18 dropped $1. So if we see what it did right now, so right now 54.45.
At Dell Technologies, we started by making the cloud
almost $1. It's almost dropped almost.
But we didn't stop there. We made a cloud flexible enough to adapt to any.
I'm gonna go get some OJ or coffee real quick. I'll be right back. But so that's what we're looking at today. So JMI did trade high, but I still think, I mean, we can definitely do a quick pop. I like where JMI is at right now. NVAX, where it's at right now, it's not bad. Moderna, it's actually going back down. It's currently at resistance from the deviation lines. It is a high, way high. So I do expect for this to drop a little bit before it goes up. But, you know, then again, it can do whatever it wants. It might just go up instead of go back down. And then NEO. So what we're gonna do is, I do like with DKNG. So what we're gonna do is maybe we'll just stick with the Fantastic Four. So we're gonna put NEO here. I'm gonna put JMI here because I like where it's at. DKNG. I like DKNG even more where it's at because this thing is going down towards overbought. So we just might. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this ready for DKNG, right? So I'm gonna put DKNG here, seeing that DKNG is really at a level that I'm liking even more. And we'll put NEO here, and then we will put JMI here.
Introducing touch-free payments from.
So if we go ahead and take a look at the pops that it's done, what are we looking for today? What kind of pop? 55 cents pop, a little more, a little less. Let's see here. So if we take a look at the first morning pops, right, before it climbs. So if we go by our strategy, what does our strategy tell us? To get in right here in this candle. So let's just say you get in on top of this candle, 50.33. So from the next line up is 50.73. So that's a 50 cents run.
Here we go.
34. No, 40. 40 cents run.
Sustainable luxury at up to 90% off retail. Louis Vuitton, Hermes.
That's the 50 cents run right there. But it went all the way up to 51.91. So from here to there, 50.36.
Select items with the code REAL.
So we'll take a look at the next pop.
Make this happen.
Going by our strategy. So our strategy tells us to get in right here.
Any moment this morning, as lawmakers worked overnight to hammer
So say you get in right here in this candle. 50.73, 51.10.
a new round of direct payments, enhanced federal jobless benefits, that's enhanced unemployment, small business funding, and money to contribute to COVID-19 vaccines. Sources tell NBC News this plan does not include liability protections for employers and state and local funding. I want to go live to Garrett Hake on Capitol Hill. Garrett, negotiators were up until the wee hours hammering this out, and so were you. What do you know?
Stephanie, look, as far as we can tell, there aren't specific hang-ups at this point. We're merely in a position in time where negotiators want to make sure that what they are agreeing to in principle is actually what's being conveyed in the text,
40 cents
in the
run.
language that will make this into a law. So
And then on this pop here, lines us to get in, $15.94.
In spending does what they intended
40
to do.
cents
As you
pop.
pointed out, lots of these provisions have been floating around for a while, and there is a
And we look for another entry right here. So what is this pop looking like? We're going to get in right here, 51.24. 20 cents pop. So we're looking, so these pops are getting lower and lower as they go, 51.56. So we're looking like at 30 cents. So the 50 cents pops need to be in the very beginning, which you can do that.
Yeah, and there's good news here.
So I am liking where Neo's at, or DraftKings is at right now. I wouldn't want to hold this way too
sending checks out the next week. The bones are already there. The infrastructure is there to get those checks out.
I just like that it's sold off. J Maya is selling off, and so is Neo. Neo is really the one I'm thinking that's gonna go first. So, or I mean, has more potential to run with all the news that's surrounding it.
We are going to leave it there, and we are continuing to cover that FDA hearing going on right now as we await the potential approval of Moderna's COVID vaccine. But first, why one frontline healthcare worker didn't want to get the vaccine, and the
so we're going to do a 50 cents pop today with these ones here.
Hear a message.
Well, we didn't do the 55 cents pop. Yeah, we know Neo can do 55 cents pops.
Hold on to the right.
For those who were born to ride, there's Progressive.
At Fidelity, you'll work with an advisor to help you build a flexible wealth plan. You'll have access to tax-smart investing strategies. And with brokerage accounts, online trades are commission-free. Personalized advice, unmatched value. At Fidelity, you can have both.
So there's news that popped out at 3 in the morning, which is I'm assuming why it popped up. So it says here, electrical vehicle battery packs are becoming cheaper for the first time, are nearing competitive in terms cost with global line. Okay.
By the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
Why did you invest in gold?
So we're looking at a level of support would be right now is the level of resistance where it's close at from yesterday. So if we were to look at something at what it could go to as a drop, 44.25 would be way over here. But if we were to up this up here to at least where it traded at pre-market or after hours, you could see the next level of it being right here.
Forget about vacuuming for up to a month.
Right there, 44.67. So we're gonna wait for this to drop a little bit. We do have some on the oversold scanner. It looks like. Just do.
What is that?
It's a star.
Oh.
I didn't have the cut out there.
What do you think?
All right, 5 seconds left till the bell rings.
Okay, my turn.
We're looking at the Faves, Neo, DraftKings, and J Maya.
I think I use a cup of salt.
At Spectrum, we think even if you can't be together, you should still be together.
Maybe used to be a smart one. Very funny.
So we'll keep you connected. Happy holidays from Spectrum.
I love you too.
Nothing beats the fun of new technology during the holidays. And nothing has more fun technology than a new Hyundai.
So it's already passing the level of resistance from yesterday.
And with the savings of Hyundai Holidays.
So we're gonna look to see if this thing pops up for us. 55 cents jump is what we're looking to get. It could definitely do that.
0% APR for 60 months. Only at your SoCal Hyundai dealer.
I've always had a problem with sweating.
You see Jeremiah popping back up. Jeremiah can definitely hit the 44 mark, the 4088 mark. DraftKings looks like it wants to pop. Seen that it already sold quite a bit.
Sweat management products for all over the body.
I haven't had sweaty hands in 2 years since I started using Carpe.
Honestly, just completely changed my life.
Avoid expensive treatments, injections, and prescriptions. Get the solution for your
So we're waiting for this to come down a little bit. So right now it's approaching the oversold part right here. So I might jump in here, anticipate a bounce.
We used to be mistreated. We used to be experimented on. And we used to be last in any category when it comes to healthcare. So it's going to take...
So the markets right now
Those are some of
are all
the
green.
fears in the minds of Americans.
So Jeremiah popping up. DraftKings looks like it's going to make its way down. We have 5 seconds left. Let us know what this is going to do. So I'm going to expect for this to pop up. I'm going to get in here now.
To provide testing and care to those in the black community without insurance or access to quality.
It could drop a little bit more for me, but I'm expecting this to jump right there to that average at least.
Dedicated to fighting inequities. Since this pandemic began, they have focused their efforts on the hardest hit
So
communities.
4482, this is where I got in. So we're going to go ahead and color code this. We're going to make this pink.
Yesterday, you got the vaccine. After months of testing and treating COVID-19 patients, what was that moment like for you?
It was very emotional. I had some fear, but I had already made the decision that I was going to do it and set an example, because so many people had said to me, Doc, when you tell me it's okay to get it, I'll get it. When you say it's all right, I'll roll up my sleeve. And I realized that it was less about me and more about everyone else that doesn't have the access that I have.
How and why did you have those fears, those reservations about taking the vaccine? You are the expert. When we see you take it, it gives us a lot of confidence. Why were you concerned?
So we're getting close to our trigger. Hopefully you can get it.
Before I was a surgeon, I'm a black woman, and culturally, that is almost a norm. It's how we were raised, that you go to the doctor when you're really sick and you think you're about to die. But other than that, you don't go.
And we're done, ladies and gentlemen. So we went for a 55-cent jump just to get a base hit off of this. We definitely did, and that's awesome for the day, guys.
Reading everything I could get my hands on, but black me was like, I'm not sure that I'm going to do this.
So 45.62 is the level that I believe it's going to get to, and really surpass that.
And my doctor and I have been following my titers.
And then the next level after that would be 46.24, probably be around here. So I think it'll reach this level today.
The more people said to me, when you tell me it's okay, Doc, I'm there. It became less about me and more about all the African Americans that are dying and have a disease greater than any other group in this country. And everyone can't get their antibodies checked every 4 weeks like I can and then say, okay, now I'm ready for a vaccine. And so that may have been good for me as an individual.
Well, I did. My lines crossed here.
People that we're trying to serve and provide access.
Right? So the skull crossed here. It was at oversold here. So I got in right here. So I anticipated the cross.
Simply because the system
and the sell-off, being that it already surpassed.
Absolutely, Stephanie.
It already surpassed
coverage of this issue is so important.
Yesterday's resistance being 45.07. Once it passed that, yesterday did that exact same thing. It went below the resistance from yesterday. Being the resistance that it couldn't tap over or pre-market, it finally broke that. When the bell rang, it came down below that.
Ways in which been exploited through the healthcare system. We have
and then popped back up for at least an 80 cents run, which this one pretty much did. So from here, from 44.81, where I got into a high of where it's at right now,
And
it's an 80 cents run.
Most likely to be.
But you know, so we know what the pops can do, so we go and look at the average of the pops in the first 30 minutes, preferably the first 15 minutes. So as we see Maya open at support, we wouldn't have got in here until the next candle and everything else told us to get in, and then this one everything did at 39.88. This thing popped up to 40.83. So that popped up
is so important in this country. It's extraordinary the work
39.88.
But this pandemic has
exposed 40.74 to a high of 4. So almost $1.
Is there any sort of silver lining, Darren, that you believe that now, once we get through this, our government will finally see this as a call to action and address all sorts of health, income, housing, education inequalities?
So now we see that 40.58 is the level of resistance that it's having a hard time breaking, but it could definitely break that.
Economics, in our systems of education, healthcare, housing, and criminal justice.
But I think before it cracks back up, I think we're going to come back down to maybe this level here, 45.26. Maybe to 40.07, the actual resistance, but I think right here is where it'll probably bounce back up of. So let's take a look at the other ones we're looking at. So we see NVAX. It dropped a little bit of momentum pre-market and then came down, and then it opened up from 124.32 to 126.97. $2 run, right? It's not bad. So we know these pops can happen early in the morning, which is why we try to trade in and out in the first 30 minutes of the market. You can get in multiple trades if you do these quick pops. So you know, because some stocks take time, they need time to cool down and then make its way back up. Let's take a look at Moderna. What did Moderna do? So Moderna opened up way high, as we can see on the first candle. So if we were to get in on this, nothing says here to get in. It's already overbought on the RSI, even before it went to overbought, as you can see down here. But let's see what it did. So from one candle, 137.48, all the way up to here, 139.85. $2, man, and then it kept going. You know, so almost $3 this thing ran up, but it was a little too high. You know, it did lose a bunch right here, gained all of that back, even then some from what it did the previous days, we can see here. So that kind of tells me, no, I'm gonna get out. I'm not gonna look at this stock that much right now. If we take a look at the other stocks that we were looking at, also just to have on there, OSTK for me is trading quite high. And it went up pre-market and maintained that level, and now it's trading higher. So as we can see here, our line told us, everything told us to get in here on this candle. So from 165.88 to a pop of 166.69. So we can definitely ride a 50 cents pop on that. This didn't open too high, but it did open in the level where I'd be considering, I'm not too sure. It's, you know, because it's right here at the average and at some resistance, but that necessarily doesn't mean we can't get in here. If it tells us to get in here for a nice pop of 55 cents at least, knowing that it can do that. And then we're looking at DKNG with DKNG. So DKNG, it being a little high, knew it was going to come down because it didn't do that much more from what it did right here at the end. So 54.46 would be the level that I would say it's getting. Well, it's already there. So the next level is 54.78. So if we were to get in using our lines, we'd have got in right here at 53.46. Currently going to 54.66. So it's a nice run right there. 50 cents run.
The experience that African Americans have had with the healthcare system being untrustworthy to them, I agree. I know the history, but we cannot allow that to impede us from receiving help that is on the way. It's here.
And that is why we need people like you to speak up. We need prominent validators like you, doctor, who are respected in our community. And when we hear more people like you saying, please get the vaccine, you will see the numbers go up.
That is my fervent prayer.
And I am so fortunate, and our audience is so fortunate to have both of you joining us today. Dr. Sanford, Darren Walker, thank you both so much. And a reminder for you at home, if you need help, ask for it. But if you can give help, please give it before the end of the year. If you're one of those people Darren was talking about, someone who has assets, someone who saved more than they normally do this year. Many people actually save more. People who work from home, who weren't paying to commute. If you've got some extra money, think about charitable giving right now before the end of the year. America needs it. Thank you both so much. I appreciate you joining me this morning. Coming up next, a stark warning from President Trump's former Homeland Security advisor, who says we need to assume Russia has control of multiple computer networks. Be worried about this. Don't go anywhere.
At Fidelity, you'll work with an advisor to help you build a flexible wealth plan. You'll have access to tax-smart investing strategies, and with brokerage accounts, online trades are commission-free. Personalized advice, unmatched value. At Fidelity, you can have both.
Honey. New NyQuil Severe Honey is maximum strength cold and flu medicine with soothing, honeylicious taste. NyQuil Honey, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing.
All right, so we're good for the month right now. So we've made more than we did last month right now with just a small loss. We're like at $70 right now, 70 plus. I'll show that to you right now. So, you know, we're trading larger cap stocks than the Momo stocks with a small account, knowing that it's going to take a little time to get there. But if we amp it up, we can see here, you know, the days are getting higher and higher as we go.
Humira is the #1 prescribed biologic for psoriatic arthritis.
Humira can lower your ability to fight.
Take these base hits. So if you have a small account, these base hits of 5, 9, 10, 20, it keeps getting higher and higher. So depending on the capital you have. So if you have a higher capital and you do a 55 cents pop, you can buy more shares, and you can definitely make that into a $50 to $100, $150 pop. So a pop for someone with higher capital could be more. So pop right now currently for me, using 800, 900 each day, it gives me anywhere between right now for a 55 cents pop, anywhere from $9 to $18, depending on the price of the stock. So as we build our capital up little by little, I'd say roughly, if you do everything right, you get out and you stop the bleeding before it gets too much. You follow your strategy. You understand the levels of resistance and support of what it can do. Someone asked me earlier, well, I didn't use my strategy, but I did actually, because everything here crossed. See, it crossed right here on top of this candle, and it was already at oversold before it opened, and it was already going down. So we already have a solid 2-3 minutes right here being oversold right here, about 4 minutes right here, and then we have that nice little V curve coming up here. So I bought in right here, right? And also not just that, but following my strategy, it also passed the level of resistance from yesterday. Knowing that it did that yesterday, I expected it to do that today. So if this would have kept going down, then it would have been even better. I probably would have got $1 pop instead of a 50 cents pop. I don't know. We'll see the next time. But couple of reasons. One, it already opened that support, or was close to support, came down to support, past resistance from yesterday. We went ahead and got in here, anticipating the crossover from here, going up and over the oversold, and selling at a decent price. It went up about 10 cents higher than what I sold it at. I think I sold it right.
Alice loves the scent of gain so much.
What did I sell it at? Hold on.
Make it last longer. Say hello to your fairy godmother, Alice, and long-lasting Gain scent beads, part of the irresistible scent collection from Gain.
Breakfast wants you back. Try Just Crack an Egg, packed with real potatoes, veggies, meat, and cheese. Just add a fresh egg for a hot scramble in less than 2 minutes to get those warm, fuzzy feelings.
That's where it sold at, the base of that candle. And then, you know, this thing went up an extra 20 cents. So 70 cents pop is what this thing did from where I got in. But if you take from the low, right, 71, you know,
that is according to President Trump's former.
It's about, what, 80 cents pop right there. It's not bad.
Sounding the alarm in a new op-ed after what could have been the greatest U.S. intelligence failure in recent years. Last week, we learned that Russian hackers got into multiple government agencies and private companies, including cybersecurity company FireEye. NBC's Ken Delanian has been digging into the story. Ken, we knew this hack was bad.
Yeah, Roku. I got some news that Roku is like, oh, Roku is hot stock right now. Yeah, we know it's hot. I mean, look at this pop right here. You know, from this point on here, right?
70, my national security sources
146. This is says 147, all the way to 152. $5, man, on one candle. Roku is insane. It really is. So the markets are green. Everything looks green right now, which is great. I want to see where Salesforce is at, being that that's still a stock for me that's still cheap. Although on the 5-minute it looks overextended, on the 10-minute it does look very cheap still. So the next level for CRM to get to would be 229, 228 right there, right? So if I was to hold on to this, I'd like to get even it's still cheap right now, but you know. So being that that's the next level of resistance that is already trading high, and we take a look at the 180 real quick, it is currently at close to resistance, so support. So that next level, yeah, 128 would be that level where it needs to go to, and then it goes higher from there. But yeah, so I would like for this to drop just a little bit. Take a look at some other favorites real quick, see what it's doing. What are you guys looking at?
For her daughter, after the pandemic took her job and her savings.
This year we learned anything's possible. Even fast delivery on the perfect last-minute gift from your Walmart store. Really fast, really perfect. Let's end the year nailing it. Attention veteran homeowners. Today's record low mortgage rates have dropped even lower.
I like BA as well. Look at these runs from BA. We would have got in right here on this candle, right here. Hit 227. Then we would have rode that $1. So we could do $1 pop on BA. My entire watch list is green, man, except for XPAV. XPAV. What would XPAV have been? We would have got in here, 4703, and then sold it here. Wow. 70 cents pop. Even here. You would have get in right here in this candle. 4712, 4734. I would say this could pop over to back to here after finding support here. So 4753 is definitely the level it can get to. If it can pass that level and maintain that pop right there, the next level would be where it came from, but doubtful that's going to do that.
Who does that? If your car is out of warranty, you're at risk of getting stuck with expensive car repairs. Call Car Shield now and get towing, roadside assistance, and rental car coverage at no extra cost. Have you looked under?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly take a glance at
repairs can drive a giant hole in your bank account.
At Moderna. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy Moderna on my swing trade account.
America's #1 auto protection provider.
And hold this for a couple days.
I said no, you'll have to pay for this. Why?
Right here. So look at Moderna. This thing just flew. I knew it would. I wanted to buy this too on my long-term account. Or my swing trade account. That's an insane run, man. I mean, even if you got in halfway at this candle here, 139, 138, and it's currently at 144. $6 still still opened up too high for me.
Now it's the time to make the
Not
smart
sure.
choice and protect yourself from
So let's take a look at TT.
Call now for a free and instant protection plan quote. It's only a matter of time until repairs are needed. And once
So Tattooed Chef is a stock I'm looking to get into long term. I do like it. I think this is going to be like Beyond Meats. So let's take a look at our stock we're waiting to see. So it looks like it's coming back up. Airbnb. And these things, what kind of pops does this have? So let's just say you were to get in here.
Because at Dell Technologies, we stop
144.56, 46.72. So $2 pop. Not bad.
This year we
Still
got
cheap.
creative with our dollars. But with Walmart's low prices, you still know how to do it up and keep costs down. Let's end the year enjoying more.
Introducing the MSNBC
Shop. Someone's got Shop. All right. Let's see what Shop is doing.
Trust for a better understanding of the stories that matter most. Check out the MSNBC Daily today.
Brave Soul. I mean, it opened up nice. I mean, I'm assuming probably got in here.
This morning, we learned that another 885,000
161,
for unemployment benefits.
183. God,
Beautiful,
man. Beautiful. Good job, man. Good job.
Shutdowns of businesses.
W.
Benefits for millions are set to expire on January 1st. And a new
Wow.
if Congress doesn't
Look at
extend the
that,
safety net,
man.
which
Oh,
hopefully
this is definitely going
it
to come
will,
down a little hard
5
later
million
on
Americans
today.
will fall into poverty.
So if we were to get in, say,
This is
here.
something our next guest knows all too
You
well.
wouldn't have gotten here. Well, I probably would have gotten here, to be honest with
Has
you.
seen the worst this virus
Seeing that all my lines are down. So for a pop, let's see, 276.17, 280, $4 right there. So we do a $2 pop on WE.
She joins us now. Melissa, thank you
Nice.
so much for telling your story. I know it's personal, but it's important for people to understand what
Moderna. So you got into Moderna.
In the
Nice.
you even saved up. You were looking for an apartment, and then a couple months in, you found
Brave
yourself
soul,
a
man. You
job.
guys are brave. Very nice. So what made you get in and where did you get out?
It's something that
Yeah.
I never, would have thought that I would be going
On
through.
the second candle.
With the pandemic, and it's just, I don't know, it was just a scary situation, I never would have thought this would happen, that we would have to quarantine and,
$1.50 pop. Okay, yeah, for sure. Nice job, man. I wouldn't have got in there, to be honest with you. It already gained so much momentum. In my experience, stocks that do this here like this, although this is a cup and handle, so we see that it came down and then boom, the handle's right there. It's a high fucking handle, to be honest with you.
You try to stay on the positive side, but sometimes it gets
Netflix.
hard with, not having savings.
Wow, brave soul, man. Again with the whole lines underneath here, but it was already at overbought. But still, huh?
What's this been like for your daughter and your mom?
529.75.
It's been for Aubrey. It's been
$6 run.
So she really doesn't know much, but thank God it really didn't hit her much.
$4 gain, nice.
Like we used to. We can't go Apple.
Yeah, all the market's green today, man. So everyone should have gotten green today. I'm hoping. So we're green. We're doing good. So that gives us a good start for the a good end for the day, I should say. Seeing that we're green now. With just 3 days of holding on to a stock, so those would have been green as well. So right now we're 16 days green.
I feel like the
1 day red.
didn't do their job as much as they should have, which is why a lot of people are struggling during this pandemic. A lot of people are struggling to make ends meet because they don't have enough savings, they don't have a job,
Yeah, so Neo's going to struggle a little bit. I do believe Neo's going to pop again. I believe Neo's going to reach this 46.24. So
Unemployment rate shot up to 38%. What's it been like for folks?
Well, it's been very, very difficult for them, you know.
I love to give those morning pops, man. You know, so if things are telling me to get in, even though my lines and everything aren't really in play, but because of previous resistance, price action, you know,
honestly, a lot of people can't make.
it can also tell you another story, you know. And I've been pretty successful doing this as well. The one time I did that, and I'm also following my strategies the same here as I explained earlier, it went the wrong way, and I held on to it for like 3 days, but I should have just got rid of it at the mark I wanted to sell it at that loss. But you know, whatever. So we sold it for 3 days later at a small loss, kind of broke even with the Neo trade.
Contacted the company that I was working for before.
But you know,
somebody actually contacted me.
So I think the furthest this would go probably be where I bought it at, but not even. So what I'm gonna do is, you know, curiosity.
And I got hired on the spot, and I started last week.
I'm gonna put it right there.
It's going great. Still gotta get used to it. It's a little farther than where I used to work, but so far.
So I like the morning pops, like I was saying, because the fact that, you know, you can get in and out quick. If you can get, if things are telling you to get in, and then you can get out quick in the first look. I mean, we traded this. We bought this on the third candle right here, and then we sold it on the second candle. I believe it was. I don't know why my flags don't pop up, man.
On the good, because there are great Americans doing wonderful things every day. And our hero of the day is 7-year-old Haley Orlinsky. She's from Chicago. When doctors and nurses there were running low on masks back in March,
all right. Yeah. Look, any stock. We'll go down the list. We'll go. Tesla's next. Look, you see. So Tesla gives me this indication right here. Okay. So it opened up high, which is something that, you know, I wouldn't touch, and rightfully so, because most stocks that open here tend to go down a little bit. Then maybe it'll pop up, maybe for about 2 minutes, but then come back down. So right now, this is the current level of support and resistance. Being the level of resistance that is having a hard time passing, and then this being the level of support, seeing how it pop down here. So if we use our lines to get into this trade, we would have got in right here on this candle, being that's at the average. So it's at an okay spot. So say we would have got in here, maybe around here, what says 621.75. So if we use our pink and blue lines, you can stay in the trade and still maintain in the trade currently. But if you want to know what it does, like so for a pop, so as you say that this, you know, how would you gauge this at? We'll go to previous day's pops, right? So that's what I look at. Okay, so we have a little mini pop here, right? So let's just say you would have used your lines to get in, and you know, let's just say that it told you to get in here on this one, right? So you probably would have got in here on this one, waiting for that next candle to form. So let's say you got in here at 621, and seeing that it's having a hard time popping, giving yourself a third shot, and then the next candle pops up here. So let's just say here, so you would get in here, 622, sell it right there, 624. So that's a $2 pop, but we know that from here to that point, it's a $4 pop. But on bigger pops, if we were to wait just a little bit more, so you got to gauge where these pops are more profitable. Are they more profitable in the beginning? Some stocks are. Or they're more profitable later on. So this here was at 722, so almost an hour after. But you would have gotten here using your lines. You would have gotten here. So for this average pop, so this one being right here, say 610, all the way to 617, $7 pop. So we know this can move $6 easy. So we'll do a $3 conservative pop. So if you were to get into here, 610, you would sell it right here at 613, seeing that would have been a decent level. So you would have got in here, seeing that it tried to pop over that here 3 times previously, it could not break. So you might want to sell it there, seeing that I had a hard time breaking this for 3 minutes before it came down and then back up. So and then Adobe. So Adobe is a slow mover. So we see in the beginning what kind of pops does it have in the very beginning if everything says to get in. So this was a little too high, being that it's close to overbought right here already. Nothing tells us to get in, but let's just say you get in because you see that whatever reason tells you to get in. I wouldn't have got in here, but let's just say you did. So you get in halfway at this point, 493. This goes to 494. So not too much of a pop because for how expensive this is. This is more of a like catch it down here and then hold it up to this area here for the majority of the day. Take a look at Zoom. Zoom has nice pops, very nice pops in the morning. So as we can see here, if we use our lines, we would have got in right here on this candle, say midway. So 406.23.
For only $22 a month.
$407 pop. But we know it can move more. It's just the volume's not there for that today. Nvidia is another slow mover, but this is another one where I needed to open up around here in order for it to climb, not already be high for me. This is too high for me. This is already at the open from yesterday. That's where it opened at. As it starts to come back down, I want this to be a little further down before I would consider getting into that. Cost was selling off for a little minute. It looks like it's coming back up. Cost also, what's the pops on cost? So you would have got in, say, here on this candle at 370. Right? 370 for a pop of 3. No, not worth it.
3,300 deaths, with the number of new cases more than doubling in just the past 2 months, from just over 8 million in October to now more than 17.
All right, guys. So that does it for me. Glad to see you guys are green. What's DKNG doing?
A deal could be in sight on this new coronavirus.
It's like DKNG is going to go down. I knew it was going to go down after this pop.
We are live on the Hill, and
it has a tendency of doing that.
Who's working behind the scenes on this. Good morning to you on this.
Anyways, guys, so we're good.
Team of NBC News reporters Tom Costello here in Washington.
Getting out of here.
Steve Patterson out in Burbank, California. Leanne Caldwell is on the Hill. And
I'm gonna go for my jog. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Friday are tricky days, so I'm gonna take a long look at my watch list. Maybe see if there's anything. Oh, I did want to say something real quick about stocks that you might want to hold on to long term. So we have Hyliion. It looks like it might have found a bottom.
Yeah, in fact, they've already said so. In this morning's meeting, they've already said that this will move faster than last week's. And just to remind the audience, this is the outside FDA advisory panel. They're known as VRBPAC. That's the acronym. And they are to advise the FDA, should the FDA go ahead and authorize Moderna's vaccine. That is almost a slam dunk, because this is essentially the same technology that Pfizer uses, that messenger RNA technology. But I got to tell you, the concern that's already been raised this morning is what happened yesterday.
There we go. Hyliion
in Alaska
is a stock that was up there, and I'm going to show it to you real quick. I'm thinking of getting this for a swing trade. So Hyliion, we'll take out the 1.8. So we can see it came almost back down to where it started, right here. Okay. Now the next level I want this to go to is 27. So I'm going to hold on to this. So I'm going to buy this. I'm going to wait for this to drop a little bit today. It's not really much of a big mover, to be honest with you. Like 15, 20 cents mover pops, I would say. So, you would have get in here, even though it's too high here, but let's say you got in here. You see, that's the high, not too swing trading. So, I would get this.
Because the vast majority of people are saying they have no side effects at all, they feel good, they went home at night, they came back, they slept well, and they're doing well. So this is a very
I wait till the end of the day to get this, and then hold on to this for like maybe 6 days for it to reach 27, $10 pop. For $17, 6-7 days, a week hold, I think it can get there. It's on its way back up, guys. So you can see here it has room to go. We take a look at 10-day chart. You can see it's still for swing trading. It's prime condition. Take a look at the 5-day chart, 5-day, 5-minute. You can see that it still has room to go to get to this point, which is almost close to it. And but you know, being that we want this to go all the way up to 27, has room to grow. The next stock I want to talk about is Rye, another one I'm thinking of holding long term. Not long term. Well, yeah, kind of long term, but swing trading also. More swing trading. So we can see on the 5-day. Well, take a look so you can see where it's coming from. Look where it dropped. It's currently right here at resistance and support before it breaks out. See here? So being this level of resistance before it tapped it a couple times before I had that massive breakout. Using the support, came back up. Uses support, came back up. Using support, popped up, broke that, came back up, way over here close to where it did, and now we're back down here to this level of support and resistance. So for where it's at right now at 1928, I know this can reach 24.32. So for a $5 pop, $4 or $5 pop, definitely. But I want to hold this. So what I would do is I would set I would set a trigger for 24.32. This will also be like a 5-6 day hold, but go like max in shares because you know this is on its way back up. Nothing but good news, so it's doing good. If we take a look at what it did today, so today it did open a little high. Well, not that high, but it did open a little high. Again, this is not much of a big pop mover. Like I wouldn't day trade this unless I had like you know I can get like 4,000, 5,000 shares because. Look at the pops that this does. So at 1945 to the high of this candle is 1980. So it's about 40 cents pop, 45 cents pop. Not that bad. But you know, knowing that, I'd go for like a 25 cents hit pop for this one. But for that, I would want to get a lot more shares, so it's not bad. But it is still low. So I am saying, I'm thinking that this, I just might buy both of these on my swing trading account. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that set up and ready to go.
Most certainly
Let me set that up real
especially
quick.
for these frontline workers who've been working these 12-hour days, 12 days straight, as California is dealing with its most deadly surge yet in this virus.
And you know, these frontline workers are overworked, they're overstressed, and not just because they're working such long shifts, but these nurses are often working these such long shifts, treating 2 or 3 or 4 patients, acute care nurses with ratios that are way out of whack. This is not sustainable for these nurses. In fact, there's a nursing organization of about 2,400 that has already threatened to strike by Christmas Eve. Of course, it is good news that there may be a new vaccine on the way. The governor has described that as finally seeing a light at the end.
So this is my swing trading account, guys. This was Weeble. Okay. So all the money I took out from my Thinkorswim account to do the small account challenge, I put it in here, and this is where I buy my long term, or not my long term. I have my E-Trade account for my long term, but this is for my swing trading account. So I'm gonna go ahead and set a trigger. So I just want to show you, you know, my other platform that I use for different stuff.
That are available, and that will get worse as time goes on. One doctor, a doctor at UCLA, described that overwhelming fear. Here's what she said.
Over the next few weeks, if the numbers continue to increase the way they have, I am afraid that we may run out of capacity within our hospitals.
It's always a good idea to have 2 brokers. Or sometimes, well, I have 3. So I have one for my day trading, one for my swing trading, and one for my long term. Also many reasons. No, I don't care what platform you use. Eventually, there's going to be some kind of like short circuit where you can't trade for a period of time, maybe a half an hour, the whole day. I don't know. So you know, then you go ahead and you look at your different account and you know, day trade or swing trade. I don't like Weeble for day trading. I think it's a little too slow for that, but it's fantastic for swing trading and for also long-term holds as well. So I am going to go ahead and put an order in. I want to use the charts on Thinkorswim for that. So we'll see right now where it's at.
To get the Pfizer vaccine, right?
exactly how
So being it's at 39.32 on this chart and on the 10-day chart.
And the Surgeon General of the United States, Jerome Adams. This is really a show from the Trump administration and White House that they're embracing.
So we take a look at this on the 10-day chart, right?
Wait to take it, but the Vice President tomorrow
see where it's at.
will be joining a list of other important
it's still high.
Pledged to take the vaccine.
Take a look at the 5-day chart.
We're going to be seeing President-elect Joe
It's
Biden
low.
likely receiving the COVID-19 vaccine as early as next week, our team has learned. And then we also know that the current president's three
I'm going to go ahead and purchase this right now where it sits.
Also, once it becomes available to them and on camera, we're not sure exactly when that's going to take place. But they'll be joining also
my trigger
under the Trump administration, and also
it's going to be 24.32. So let me go ahead and put that in there.
He has publicly pledged to do that as well. So once we start to see these high-ranking officials actually get shots in arms, they're hoping that's going to help other Americans feel more comfortable to take the shots when they can get them too, Hallie.
And we're
where's
learning
it at
about
right
world
now?
leader Emmanuel Macron right over in France who is testing positive. That's one of the headlines this morning, along with another here at home. The House COVID Oversight Committee released
So I'm gonna hold this on for about maybe 7 days, maybe longer. I don't know. If I need to hold it longer, I will. So now let's take a look at Hyliion. See where Hyliion's at.
What went wrong? And in some of these postmortems, you can imagine members of Congress and others will be looking back at some of the communications like the ones we're talking about.
Yeah, and this was something that the White House was asked about repeatedly because we knew the president had considered it. We knew that his closest medical advisor at the time, Dr. Scott Atlas, had at one point endorsed it as a possible contingency measure. But the White House continually said that's not something we're endorsing. Clearly, these emails internally at the Health and Human Services Department show that top Trump appointees were discussing.
All right, so I'm gonna put a buy trigger for Hyliion. I'm not gonna buy Hyliion now. I'm gonna put a buy trigger. I want this to come back down here. $17. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a buy trigger for Hyliion, $17.
Are able to get access to those shots, Hallie, but without that, it was a completely
And also hold on to this for a couple days.
something the White House still publicly is distancing itself from.
All right. Done deal.
Monica Alba live for us there at the White House. Mon, thank you. With me now is Dr. Ashish Jha, Dean of the Brown University.
So this is what I also look at, guys, to tell me, how the market's doing.
Good morning. Thanks for having me back.
It's Webull. You can download it for free. You don't have to fund it to use it. Although I do suggest that you could, if you can inject some money in there and get a stock that's low and hold on to it for a couple of days, for however long. So you're generating money, you're investing money, you're making money as it grows, kind of like mutual fund or whatever. But
yeah, so again,
can definitely do something like that.
We're really being very careful about this. I like the fact that again with the Moderna vaccine, there's a deep dive into the data, an open and public discussion about what the data shows and doesn't show, and then there will be a vote at the end of the day. And I expect the vote to be positive because the data looks really good.
I'll get out of this.
And then I expect the FDA to authorize it, ideally within 48 hours. The reason this is so important, Haley, is you sort of nailed it. We need both of these vaccines out there. The Moderna vaccine's a little bit easier to transport.
Oh, still got to do this. This is something I still got to do.
More to doctors' offices and pharmacies, whereas the Pfizer vaccines may be more limited to hospitals and other institutions.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the Pfizer vaccine, because there's this news this morning that the vials of the vaccine
I knew it was going to drop back down. I knew it.
They were expected to have. The FDA has this statement out saying at this time, given a public health emergency, the FDA is saying you can use every full dose obtainable, possibly a 6 or maybe even a 7 from each vial. How did this happen? And is there any way that this is not good?
Beautiful run. I'm glad I was a part of this, man. I got in at almost perfect too, right there. I'm so happy.
Yeah, no, this is good news, and 2020 has not been the year.
That's what happens, man. When you look at charts, you study the charts, man. Also, and a lot of people that I've shown, they do it's nothing bad depending on other people to give you ideas of what to look at. But and also the good thing without even knowing that you're doing that, in turn you're also learning how to do it on your own if you need to. And then you start wanting to because you see the money potential that you can make with this.
Terrific news, and I would love to see that happening across the country.
You got to think of this as, first you think of it as a part-time, you know, like, you know, and any job you do, you should do well, no matter what it is you do. Always do well, right?
Very unusual. That is certainly not anything we've seen widely.
And then when you start seeing it progress, you can see it as a small business. So then you think yourself as a small business owner. I see the stock gain in the beginning when you first start doing it as you would if you open up a business. If you open up a business, a restaurant, for example, or any business, but we'll use a restaurant, for example, you're already in the red because of all the money you put into the restaurant before it opens. And you're not profitable until maybe like a year after, maybe a year after. You know, basically just trying to pay off everything that you bought and invested into that business.
To me, this is going actually quite well.
Well, with the stocks, it's almost the same thing. So apart from investing in your equipment, you know, you're also going to lose money learning how to do this in the beginning. Not all trades will be losses. You'll have some decent winners, but you know, you'll start getting frustrated, and that's when you start, you know, learning how to get, if you want this to be successful, you start learning how it goes, and then you'll start seeing that red decrease and that black, you know, you being in the black more than the red. When you treat it as a business, it's yours. Same thing with a business, you know. So if you own a restaurant, all the cups, napkins, and straws you're paying for is coming out of your pocket. So you want to try and minimize risk, you know, or loss. So risk being with the stocks, you know, loss being in the business. So I think I'm gonna keep trading NEO, maybe all month long, or until it stops telling me. I've been trading NEO. NEO's been by far my best baby stock. I just got away from it for a little bit, but I still have my movers here that I do watch daily. But seeing that we can buy a little bit more shares of NEO, make a little bit more money without having to hold it for a higher pop or a longer pop, you know, we're going to keep taking advantage of that. So we will see. Alright guys, so I am done. I got my 2 swing trades ready. I'm already in one. I'm already in ride. I already bought that. That's going to be like a 6-day hold. I'm holding that for a $10 run.
Can I help keep me asleep?
Where'd it go? There we go. I'm going to hold this for a $10 run. Okay.
I've never heard snoring.
Exactly. No problem.
Highly on. We're going to hold that for a $6 run. But I want this to come down first. I already got that trigger set to buy. If it doesn't get there, then maybe we'll look at tomorrow or whatever price, because this is going to keep going up. So we'll see. And with the one last glance at the other 2 stocks, biotech stocks that we were looking to get into, where they're at, we see Moderna came down just a little bit right here as it's still trading high. This is going to keep going up. That news is too good for it not to. And then we were looking at NVAX.
By the Mint Master Chocolatier.
Drew, heard you've been auditing your business expenses.
Yeah, it's my internet and phone bill. It just doesn't add up. I'm paying hundreds more per year than what I signed up for.
Put the one day here.
No one ever told me that.
Classic.
So we see that it's starting to come down, not by much, but.
Wow, yeah. That sounds great, but I'm stuck in my contract, so...
No. Spectrum Business will buy you out.
Really?
Great.
Man, I feel like it's April 16th.
Not bad. Not bad.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, the safe way for your customers to pay.
Yeah, looks like it's doing good. Dash looks like it's selling off, huh?
Poodle Pamperer, Piano Tuner.
I'm not too sure about Dash, you know.
Give your customers the confidence to shop safe. New touch-free payments. No seller fees until
Definitely a lot way down.
Shop safe with PayPal.
I say Dash's next level to come up to would be 163.
Not just a little, a lot.
We wanted to create an
But I don't even know holding on to this is worth it, man, for a swing trade. I know some people are currently in it right now.
Body sweat solutions today.
From the first state open, bought it real high.
Because most people overpay for car insurance.
See how the airlines are doing.
Saves you money by finding the best.
Massive drop, recovers all of that.
$800 a year on average. Go to Gabby.com and stop overpaying for car insurance.
Southwest, man, it's not a big mover like pop wise. Like I'm looking for a pop right. Let's just say that we were to get into this pop right here, seeing that this is where our line starts to get. So 45.90.
By the end of the storm, parts of Pennsylvania could see up to 2 feet of snow.
It's like 20 cents.
New York set a new record of more than 3 feet.
All right, guys, I am out of here. I am gonna go ahead and log off. Glad you guys made money, and I will send my picks today for tomorrow. Neo more than likely gonna be in. Is gonna be in there for sure. For sure.
We still have 37 million people under some kind of winter weather alert. I want to get to our team of reporters on the ground.
This is what Neil's looking at right now.
Boston, MSNBC meteorologist Janessa Webb is in New York City. Kathy, let me talk to you about conditions, which are obviously, as we can see, getting worse where you are. What are you seeing, and are you hearing of any impact on what we've been talking about on this show? Vaccine distribution, vaccine testing.
Massive drop. Is it already in here? Should be.
Hey, Hallie, good morning to you. Yeah, as you can see right now, the
J. Maya's on there.
snowfall rate in the Boston area is about 1 to 2 inches per hour. It's about 8 inches on the ground right now, but when the storm system officially moves on out of here the next couple of hours, we're looking at over a foot. Now, most of Massachusetts is under a winter storm warning until 1 o'clock this afternoon, so folks are to stay indoors.
Yeah, Jeremiah's getting close to it. I love it. I love it because I love these stocks, so I do know I want to keep trading them until they keep going higher and higher, and that's what it's going to be.
And people are encouraged to check with their test
So I think Neil's going to make his way back up.
Their COVID testing is still moving forward because of the inclement weather. We also made some phone calls to area hospitals, and as far as the vaccine rollouts go, the weather doesn't seem to have disrupted that. So things are going smoothly on that front.
Oh, I forgot about Intel.
In Boston, and as far as the weather goes, in addition to the heavy snowfall, we keep getting hit with these bursts of heavy wind gusts. So we are bracing for the potential for power outages in the area.
What is this pop looking like?
And with this, there is this fun fact
this
that
thing
I
sold
learned
off
from
pretty
the weather
hard.
team. So Boston so far this season has received more snow
50.39.
than snowy cities like Chicago and Milwaukee.
20 cents pop.
That's interesting.
Not too. How's this looking on the
Kathy, thank you. Let's bring in MSNBC meteorologist Janessa Webb.
4-hour chart?
So Janessa, what can we expect as we move
5
through the
days
day?
overextended.
Because it seems like where Kathy is, they're just going to keep getting
so this
colder
can go
as
down to here at least.
Yeah, this area of low pressure, it continues to spin, Hallie. We're really getting lucky. We were an underachiever.
What about the 10-day chart?
Here in Times Square, about 6 to 8.
I know I keep saying logging off, but I just, if I see stuff that's potential for later on, for tomorrow, I'm going to take a look at it now. I go for my jog later on today.
This system was going to move out pretty quickly, and we
So this being the level of
million people under some kind
of resistance that it can't seem to be, that can't seem to pass. We took a look at the 180 chart.
Big time issue for at least the next 24 hours. What's going to happen here? We're going to see what we're seeing right now is pretty slushy conditions.
So it's currently at support going back 4 months.
Temperatures are cold behind this system, and so what's going to happen is that glossy black ice effect across most areas. Even though the
and then our next level is 53.
get some relief from the snow.
That's our next level? Seriously?
Really going to be an issue. The last few
Yeah,
hours,
right here. So our next level
Square, and we've seen
of resistance would be 52.61.
And that's going to be happening for tonight, where we're going to see wind chills.
Well, we know it dropped 51.31. We know it dropped $1.
Janessa Webb, Kathy Park, thanks to you both.
I'm gonna write this down. This might be a nice 2-day hold. I gotta see. I mean, it's definitely low.
In years, and it's still maybe happening as we speak. The top Democrat on the
And then the other one was IBM. IBM's in there. I don't really look at IBM, to be honest with you. But it's on there. What is this pop like? 125.51.
125.96.
Wow. Horrible pop. Even in the current one that it's at right now. You would have got in here. So $24.91. Horrible pop. But let's see if this might be a long couple day hold. So right now it is so that is the current level of resistance, 126. Going back 5 months that it's having a hard time breaking.
Daily pill can
And then the next level of resistance
Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue.
would be right there, 134.43.
Your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections.
We're due for that. This might be a good couple day hold, man. It's low. It really is. It's not bad. I mean, on the 5 day, it's about fair value. On the 10 day, fair value as well.
Take on RA. Talk to your
Interesting.
about
I like
Rinvoq
this.
Relief. Rinvoq. Make it your mission. If you can't afford your medicine, AbbVie may be able to help.
IBM and Intel.
An Air Force veteran made of doing what's right.
CVS is on here. I knew CVS is low. Although Chevron's on here as well. Let's take a look at this.
Insurance is made just the way Martin's family needs it.
I knew CVS was trading low. This is also a good, might be a good
Because doing right by our members, that's what's right. USAA. What you're made of,
couple day hold. Oof, but it is overextended on the.
At Dell Technologies, we started by making the cloud easier to
Well,
manage.
kinda.
But we didn't stop there.
So right now,
Flexible enough to
I would
adapt
like
to
for
any
this.
no matter what it does or how it changes.
So that's the level of support that it bounced off of 4 times, and a level of resistance before rejecting. But our next level of resistance
Did you know you may qualify to get up to $148 added
before
back to
it
your Social
broke would be
Security
right
check
here,
every month? It's
$70.84, $2,
call
not
the
worth it.
Medicare Benefits Help Center at
Not worth it.
800-750-5112. In addition to receiving $148 every month,
Simon
you might
Property
also
stock.
qualify for a $0
There was a stock I
Medicare
wanted to
Advantage
look at
plan
real
that
quick.
includes the following benefits: dental, including fillings, exams, dentures; vision, including exams, frames, lenses, and even contacts; hearing, including hearing aids, batteries, and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost. The Go Medicare Benefits Help Center is open
SPG.
now at 800-750-5112. Both the call and the consultation are 100% free with absolutely no obligation to enroll. Call the Go Medicare Benefits Help Center now at 800-750-5112. That's 800-750-5112.
So where is this fucker at right now? Let me see. Alright, so this being the current level of resistance and support right now. Seeing that the high was here. Let's take a look at the 10 day. With another level of support right there. Being that this is the level of support.
Here in Washington, we are learning Vice President Mike Pence is planning to leave town
So now we
for
go
one
back
last
to the 180.
international trip. And the timing here is really interesting. He's planning to leave the same day he's expected to preside over the vote in Congress to affirm Joe Biden's victory and Donald Trump's loss. NBC's Josh Letterman has that new reporting just confirmed now within the hour by NBC News. Josh, tell us more about what you're learning about this last sort of hurrah, if you will, for VP Pence.
Yeah, that's right, Hallie. So as of January 6th, Vice President Pence is
Simon Property Group is something I'm very interested in getting into as well. It is low. compared to where it was before the pandemic came out. You know, it's like a retail. They ran out retail. Front to retail stores.
Before the COVID-19 pandemic began, and as you point out, this is really interesting timing because if he does leave as scheduled on January 6th, that would mean leaving within just hours of that joint session of Congress.
But let's see what this does on pops for us, huh?
Sealed envelopes from each
All about the pop.
Their electoral votes, tally them up, and then the vice president, in his role as president of the Senate, will be responsible for presiding over the tallying
these are lines
of the electoral college vote for President-elect Joe Biden, something that Vice President Mike Pence's boss, President Trump, is obviously not too eager to see. Now, an administration official tells myself and Monica Alba that the plans could still change. All of this is still open to being rejiggered as they get closer to that date, but as of now, it does look like the vice president will spend about 5 days outside of the country, just roughly 9 days before he and President Trump leave.
So 30 cents pop from there to there. Then from here,
Josh Letterman's live for us there with that new reporting this hour. Josh, thank you much. On Capitol Hill, of course, the government shuts down tomorrow night.
30 cents pop, so average pop of 30 cents. What did this thing do yesterday?
2 bills lawmakers are hoping to tie together to keep the lights on. This is even though Nancy Pelosi,
Alright, so let's see what this does. It opened real nice. I would have got in here already on this candle maybe. So let's just say, yeah, anyway, the line's crossed right here. So 88.77 to a current level of
extended federal unemployment insurance benefits, about $300 a week. And it'll probably include more money for businesses struggling to pay their workers. What it probably will not include money for state and local governments, liability protections for businesses, and significant support for restaurants who say they specifically need more help.
Not bad.
I'm joined now by Democratic Senator Mark Warner.
We're going to add this to our watch list.
Group that released a proposal this week. The basis of the talks happening now. He's also the vice chair of the Senate Intel Committee. Senator, thank you for being back on the show.
My pleasure.
So,
you know, so I'm apart from this chat room, my chat room, and the YouTube chat room, I'm a part of other chat rooms, trading chat rooms, and you know, they'll throw in stocks in there and I'll look at them, and sometimes I'll find someone here that I've never really heard of, but you know, I like to know why it's there. Most of these stocks got to be over a certain price. Like most of these stocks on here. Oh, I do want to see Chevron. Hold on. I know Chevron's on here. Like Chevron. I don't think Chevron's a good mover anyway, but I think it is trading higher or lower on the 180. Let me see. It's going back up to 105. But as a popper, what does this thing pop? So let's just say here, a line said to get in here, 88.05, with being a resistance of right here.
I think that's not the right way to have gone about
30
this.
cents.
It's a strange combination between some on the far left
80
and
cents.
Donald Trump. So,
no, not worth it. But let's see if this would be a decent long term or a couple day hold. So being where it's at right now.
There's money for minority businesses. There's money for child care centers. There's money for mental health. There's increased
And
benefits.
seeing that the next level of resistance that it can reach up to is the first one is 89.29, then 94. Being 94 being the level of resistance that it had a hard time breaking many times before. It already attempted it 2 other times, and now it's declining that, rejecting it, coming back down here. So I would be a 5-day holder on this to reach that $96. A swing trade, maybe 5-7 days, yeah, to reach that. That's interesting. I'm gonna write that down
to
as
try
well.
to give lawmakers basically a bit of an extension, maybe into next week, to do this.
Well,
So you know, the different chat rooms. So I got this, and they go in the chat rooms. They always talk about different stocks. You know, so I would encourage people to be part of subscriptions, free ones, obviously, from these apps that they offer, like Seeking Alpha. These are apps that I get alerted: Yahoo Finance, Market Watch, The Wall Street Journal, CNBC. And then my platforms, Webull, E-Trade, and Robinhood, E-Trade, Thinkorswim, and Webull are my platforms. In Robinhood, I have Bitcoin. I invested. I had like $50 left in there, and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna trade on Robinhood. I don't like the platform. It's not for me. I know some the younger crowd really uses it, but not for me. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna take this out. I'm just gonna, whatever. So everyone's talking about Bitcoin. So I left the $50 of Bitcoin in there, and now I'm up like $400 on Bitcoin. So I don't know. It's pretty cool. So you get all these different platforms, whatever. So or apps, and they help you. Like right now, I have on my iPad here, I have the Webull app open. First thing I do, I look at the market, what it does, where it's at, where it can go. Then I look at the news on the stocks that I'm looking at from the previous night, because sometimes I'll switch it up if I see something that's really low. Like I was going to trade DK&G before NEO, but seeing that DK&G had already made a massive run, I was like, oof. Not too sure about that. And if we were to get into this pop, seeing that it came down here to the average or to the support, we would have got in maybe here 53.55 and then sold it here 54.68. So yeah, definitely a nice pop right there. About 50 plus cents right there. But it was just too high for me. It's coming back down now, which you know what's gonna happen with this motherfucker? It's gonna come down. It's just gonna go all the way up. Watch. It's insane what this thing does. But maybe today it doesn't do it. Maybe today it kind of trades a little down since it's been on a tear, man. I mean, on the 5-day chart, boom, massive hill. On the 10-day chart, boom, massive hill. So yeah, I need this to come down at least to this level here. I would say maybe 51.95. That's what I would like it for me to be interested again. Although I'm so interested because this has a lot of potential to go back up. So that's that, guys. So you get the apps. Then you can join Facebook groups. Like Zip Trader, Warrior Trader, all of these things. And then then maybe you get invited to a chat room like mine, like the one I currently have. And you're on there. You participate a little bit. Hi, whatever. What's everyone looking at or whatnot. And then you go down and you'll see people what they're talking about. And that's what I do, and I'll go and I'll write down these stocks that I've maybe never heard of or thinking, wow, okay, what is that? Because everyone's talking about it. And then I'll do my own research on it, and
You say that the assessment is still happening, Senator. Does that mean it is still possible that the hacking is still occurring in some sectors and we just don't know about it yet?
Well, what we're saying is, and again, I'm not going to get into any specifics, but when a hacker is able to penetrate a network,
hold on, let me see this real quick.
Created a whole series of backdoors where
this was a stock that I might get this for a swing trade as well.
For us basically to
It did trade down, but if we take a look, so on the 10 days overextended, on the 5 days overextended, but on the 180, this looks real nice to get into.
We're doing our defense bill right now. I think sometimes our country spends too much money on planes, ships, tanks, and guns.
So I actually, you know what? I'm gonna buy this for a swing trade as well.
Is an area where a country like Russia that can compete with us in this.
I have a decent amount of capital in my swing trade account. The profits I made from this, I put it in there. So this will be this would be the third stock that I would get in my swing trade account. So at the end of the day, my swing trade account, if they sell, I don't give them that much. Sometimes I'm like, this can get there, so it's going to get there. But knowing that I'm going to hold on to it for a long period of time to get there. And if they do, about 70% of them do. With these three stocks and the shares that I'm going to get, hold on, let me get it.
question whether my Republican colleagues will, but this is again purely out of spite from somebody who will go down as the greatest loser of all time.
All right.
Senator Mark Warner.
What trigger am I going to put this at?
Senator, we thank you
I'm going to put this at a trigger of
today. Some small towns and rural communities.
$25. I'm gonna write this for a $3 run. I know it can do it. I know it's going to do it.
Day of distribution, and what that looks
We're going up. This is going to upswing.
Now joining forces with the CDC to start contact tracing. How it might affect your travel.
So, yeah, just a silly mistake. I guess I look pretty ridiculous.
Right. Done deal. So we're just waiting for Holly on to drop for us, and then we can have 3 in our account. So at the end of the day, if they sell, and they do take, you know, like 5 days, sometimes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but they do. So let's just say let's give it a week's time. If all 3 of them hit the trigger, we're looking at maybe like $900, $1,000.
Record low mortgage rates have now fallen even lower. By refinancing, you can save $3,000 a year with one call to New Day.
So yeah, so you know, be part of chat rooms, get ideas. I don't really remember a lot of people in these chat rooms are also new or struggling. I mean, sometimes the things that I've read are like, are you serious? Like, why would you do that? You know, like, I mean, fuck, I'm new and I'm not even thinking about that shit, you know? But whatever. But you know, it's always interesting to find out what people are talking about. It does give you a leg up. You know, you start learning stuff. Look at the charts daily. You know, you go through the whole. You know, the only con about trading this way opposed to the Momo way, the momentum plays, is that you do have to look a lot more of technical and fundamental. Whereas Momos is more just technical. You're just looking at previous price action, and you know, because they do pop up. Like we'll take a look right now. Like right now, and wait, which one is it?
Yeah, but you have to live in the South.
Pre-market today, we had HYMZZ as a Momo trade today.
Whatever your business is facing, let's workflow it. Service now.
Wow.
It's not just this one moment.
So yeah. Look at that. I mean, I don't gotta say anything. Just look at that.
We got some stuff to get into.
My friends are gonna love this.
If you look at the daily chart, you see nothing.
Tired of overpaying for your prescriptions?
Let's see the next one. This was a horrible example.
80%. And everyone can do it.
It's from Optum.
Anybody that was in that, man, is hurting. Hurting.
You don't have to sign up for anything. Just go to OptumPerks.com.
And get a coupon to use at your pharmacy. That's it.
I opted in.
I opted in.
You can too.
Oh, this is an IPO.
Save big today.
Huh.
I'm still discovering what's next and still going for my best, even though I live with a higher risk.
Not bad for an IPO. Oh, it opened yesterday.
So if there's a better treatment than warfarin, I'm reaching.
All right, nah, I can't. I mean, better examples. Come on.
To reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, plus has significantly less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis is FDA approved and has both. What's next? I'm on board.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor.
Okay, this is a better example. Let me get rid of all these fucking lines. I used to look at this stock way back when I was in my Momo phase. Alright.
With the vaccine rollout picking up speed, you've got some rural healthcare facilities starting to get their very first shipments just now. The already complicated process getting more challenging at some of these smaller places that just don't have as many resources and workers. What they do have are very detailed plans for how folks should spring into action the moment those first deliveries arrive. That has happened in Worthington, Minnesota, or it's about to, where NBC's Dasha Burns is. Dasha, walk us through what happens next. I think that first shipment just got there, maybe in the last couple of minutes. Am I wrong?
Hallie, you came to us at just the right moment. Literally moments ago, the vaccine arrived here in this box right here. But this box is empty right now because they've already put...
All right, so when you're doing momos, right, it's not much work you have to do because there's some things you have to look at. One, you have to look at there's a catalyst. Why is it running up so high? Two, look at the volume. You know. And then, you know, you start looking at technicals, what it's done. So this is the daily chart that we have popped up here. So you can see that it had one pop here and another pop over here at 4:09, and then one over here at 2:13, and then it pretty much just trades around that 79 cents area for most of the day. So then we'll gradually go up. So we can see here a clearer picture. Okay, so if we were to zoom in here real quick, you would say your next level of support or resistance, being that we wanted to touch a couple, you know, would be right there. So that would be 77 cents. And then your next level of resistance would be here. So you can see these pops are very small. So that's all you have to do really is say, okay, so what are you going to focus on? What pop? Well, you're going to focus on these pops. Right? You're going to focus on these. This one here, and then this one here. Because you want to know what it did, like when it went up. And like, you know,
a lot of excitement and a lot of hope, I am sure.
When it comes down, you want to do all that stuff. And then you take a look, and then you start going up. You know, you look at the 20-day 1 hour. You know,
you have United Airlines, the first.
You can see that, you know, and then you go to the 5-day 15-minute. You go to the 10-day 30-minute, and then you go to the 5-day. So see, you can't go to the 5 to 10 or the 1 hour because they're all the same. And so basically, in a way, you're kind of hoping that this current pop of momentum that it has is going to do the same thing it did yesterday, and it just might, or that day that it did months ago or whatever, and do this exact same thing. Okay? So you could have gotten this one. Well, yeah, you could have. At 4:30 in the morning, this popped up to here, came back down. So this being the current level of support and the current level of resistance, it's you know. So look at this. It's not much. It's nothing, but it's so cheap. You can buy a lot of it. But it can also flash, man. So, you know, you do technicals, more technical than fundamental. With this type of trading that I do, and most traders do, it's an equal amount of both, you know. See, I don't touch momos anymore. No way. All right, I'm done for sure, guys. It was a good day today. We're green again. Neo, another home run for us, or base hit, whatever. Probably going to trade Neo until maybe we just stop. But for the time being, we're good. It still has room to grow, and I want to ride this. I want to ride this till the wheels come off.
We are going to great lengths to strongly encourage people to participate in the program, and you can submit this information through the United app at United.com.
I wouldn't mind. I'm not going to recommend anything because I'm not. You know, you can do what you want. But me personally, I would. Yeah, I would hold Neo at the current place where it's at now. I would hold on to it. Maybe all the way leading up to Neo Day, the day before, and then get out of it. Because this just still has room to go, man. It does. Alright, guys. Anyways, have a good one. And I will talk to you guys later. Tomorrow morning.
Quarterbacking here, but this seems like this could be helpful. Why not start this months ago? Why now? When did talks